Today we're replacing the turbo on my Toyota Rav4 2-litre D4D diesel engine. Now there's a few videos out on YouTube you've probably found already looking for how to do this, and they kind of start covering how to take the heat shields off, and then magically they're all kind of in pieces and it's nice and easy. Doesn't work like that. Total nightmare job. Just be warned. So for whatever reason people haven't covered the day of hell they probably had in between the heat shields and actually getting the turbo off, because it's a pretty tricky job. So you need a decent selection of tools to both modify, brake and to lose. So you'll be swearing, you'll be bleeding. It's just been a bit of a trouble job. So what I've tried to cover today is the bits that other people seem to have been missing, which is like showing you where the tricky nuts and bolts are, how I've accessed them, what tools I've used or had to modify to do that. And so I've broken a few tools as well along the way. But generally it's kind of not a job for the faint-hearted. But if I've not put you off yet, this is how I did it. First thing to do is remove the intercooler. It's just 3 12mm bolts. Disconnect the air tubing. There's a couple of Jubilee clips. Remove the large pipe to the turbo and just fold it out of the way. Then completely remove the smaller pipe, but just try and remember the position for refitting. It makes it easier to get the intercooler back on. Remove the 12mm nut and 3 12mm bolts from the turbo heat shield, and that comes off quite easily. I removed the vacuum canister as I didn't know if the new turbo came with one or not. I loosened the lock nut underneath, which is a little 10mm nut I believe. Marked the position on the threaded rod, and then it can be refitted back to the same position. So the vacuum can we took off, if you can see there I marked it with a red pen. That's the lock nut that's on it above there. I marked it so that it can be screwed back onto the new turbo, assuming the new turbo doesn't come with one. I'm not actually sure if it does or not, to be honest with you. But that screws onto here. It will do on the new turbo, and you need to go back in the same ideally as the way it came out, so it's activating the same amount. Next I remove the 3 manifold bolts, 2 at the top are nice and easy, and a super tricky one down below. I then remove the 2 14mm nuts holding the turbo onto the mounting bracket. These can actually be done later and you'll have better access to do it later as well. One of them was really hard to get off. It took a lot of heat before it would come loose. Okay, so you've got these 2 studs here, and there's one underneath because this is like a triangle shaped flange. Now these 2 here have a 12mm nut in it that looks like that, and they're pretty easy to get off, pretty straightforwards, although they do tend to be a bit rusty and the edges tend to round off if you're not careful. Now the one underneath it was an absolute nightmare. I literally spent hours trying to get that one out. You can get onto it with a shorty 12, and there's just enough room to get that in there, but with it not being full form on the end, I ended up just rounding the edges off the nut. So absolute hell on earth basically. In the end I cut down one of my cheap tiny little ratchets, so I took the end off the handle, and it's a full form 12mm socket. And that just about got on there at a funny angle, and using as much strength as I had with just a short handle I managed to get the nut off. And at this side there was a bracket which looks like this. Now that was down below, and attached with 2 14mm bolts which kind of go down there. That was relatively straightforward to get to, a little bit tricky around the pipes and stuff for access. So under the engine, under the sump, side of the gearbox, alternators up there, look, you got these 2 nuts there, and they're holding the downpipe in place. So if you get those 2 off, got the 3 at the top, and then the 2 attached to the exhaust at the back, and our downpipe should come off. So under the car, the exhaust attaches So that downpipe up there, look, so we are at the back of the engine, looking up from above. There's the drive shaft here, look. And there's the flange there with the two nuts, so they're 14s I believe, one at that side and one up there at this side. Hopefully they'll not give us too much trouble and we'll be able to unbolt that downpipe and separate it from the triangle flange. The exhaust manifold bolts came out relatively easily. I ended up using a 1/2-inch ratchet with an extension bar and another extension bar and a 14mm socket to get access. I did deep creep everything as usual, and I'll put a link to that in the description. It works a treat. So you have the 3 on the flange at the top there, 2 on the bracket, which are from below, and the 2 exhaust bolts there. So we'll get this bracket off next, which is attached to the nut here, which has already been removed, and down the back, attached to the back of the engine there, is another nut which is holding the bracket in place. Correction, there's actually 2 bolts holding that bracket on. It involved a lot of heat. Got to be careful because there's the water pipes down there, and a lot of leverage, as much as I could pull. So again, not an easy one. The 2 bolts that hold the bracket on, well and truly mashed and well seized into the block. One bracket. Now you can fight with the nut that's down there, and if you've got the bracket off, you can get a spanner in for a bit better access. Total asshole. Heat shield has a bolt down there, one down this side, one at the top. Just moving it for access to the back of the turbo. I'm still struggling to take that bolt off there, and then there's 2 more the other side, on the underside as well. So the 2 nuts are out from underneath, so the 2 directly underneath the turbo. Just still struggling with that one at the front, and I've now gone through yet another tool. So in the end, this bolt took a massive bar and a 1/2-inch socket down there, and we've slightly bent the pipes. That's the only option we had. Heat didn't shift it, spanners didn't shift it, nothing shifted it. Total nightmare. So we're nearly there, it's all nice and wobbly. We've just got 4 nuts left, which hold the 2 flanges on, the pipes at the front here, and the flange underneath, which holds the 2 pipes underneath for the oil pressure lines. The 10mm nuts, I believe, and hopefully they will be a bit easier than the last ones have been. I'll just show you what these are on the new turbo, because it's arrived. So this is the flange on the new turbo. Just talking about the oil feed pipes that go in the front. So this is facing the front of the engine. The 10mm bolts or 10mm nuts, and then underneath there's a similar looking attachment for pipes underneath. So I'm hoping those last 4 nuts will come off relatively easily. This is the one we had a nightmare with. You have like a pipe that comes across here, one of the water feed pipes, and I couldn't get a socket on it easily. So I smashed 2 1/4-inch drives trying to get access to it, because it was just a real nightmare, and it was so hard. Probably the hardest nut I've ever taken off. It really was tricky. On the side here you have the triangle flange. The top ones there were pretty easy, but this bottom one's really hard to access. You kind of have to do it from behind and underneath, because the firewall in the back of the engine bay, you have to use a short stubby screwdriver, or in my case I cut down a short small ratchet to do that one job, and I just had enough strength in my fingers to get that undone. Again, that was a real fight. That one took a while. And the 2 at the back there, so the tricky ones are at the front and the bottom here, and these 2 were very seized in, but they actually came out first try without any heat, thankfully. But yeah, all of these nuts and bolts, in my car at least, were pretty heavily seized in or sticky or stiff to get to, and I've literally spent a full day undoing 6 bolts. So this is the back side of the top flange that attaches to the turbo. So the top 2 are relatively straightforward, and then there's that tricky one at the bottom there. I've received the new turbo and it comes with a vacuum can, so we marked this one to keep, but I don't think we'll need it. When taking the water pipes off, the top one's quite easy. It's a 10mm pretty easy to access. The one underneath, however, down here, we ended up using a short 1/4 inch ratchet on an extension to a 3/8 socket, which is 10mm, to give us about 1.5 inches of length to get in there. So a little bit fiddly to access. The oil pipes underneath, again, one was pretty easy, the other one ended up using the ratchet, an extension bar which is 3/8 to a 10mm extended socket. So you just need a real combination of different lengths of sockets and extensions to get into these things. There's a little bit of sideways movement in the vanes and bearings. There's quite a bit of up and down movement. The replacement turbo came from Turbo Rebuild Ltd, and it's a Melett unit which is supposed to have been manufactured all here in the UK. I hope so, because I paid a little bit more for this one rather than one of the imports on eBay. And the fitting kit that came with it. The new turbo doesn't come with studs for the oil and water pipes, so they need removing from the old one, which are these ones here. They have like a torque bit end on them to help to take them out easier. In the kit you get these 3 studs, which are these ones here, but you do have to remove these ones as well, and this one for the heat shield. I couldn't find anything that would thread onto these big ones. I'm not sure what thread they are, they seem quite a fine thread. So you have to use the original nuts if you're struggling. Thankfully they were both quite loose to start, so it didn't take much effort on these two. So getting the turbo back into position is a bit of a tricky one. It's a 2-man job if you've got someone to give you a hand, because you kind of need to get the bottom pipes on first, so you kind of drop it on halfway into the bottom pipes like these ones here, and then you slot this front one on next, and then you kind of drop it onto the nut at the front here, so it all then drops into place. Because the oil pipes are on the underside, it's tricky to keep the gasket in place, so you're not supposed to use sealant, but I use a tiny bit of blue Alumar just on the outside edge, on the outer edge of each stud, just to vaguely hold it in place while we're dropping it onto the oil pipes. So we've nipped up the oil pipes at the bottom, nipped up the water pipes here, the one stud at the front's nipped up, and we put the studs on the underside. There's 2 ones down here. Now the replacements for these are actually 17mm, so they take quite a bit of cranking to get them on, but they're easy to access now, everything's out of the way, and our turbo is pretty solid in place now. If you end up with the same kit as I have, the Adjuster, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, so the kit with all the gaskets in, it also comes with some studs and some nuts. So the studs, big one here for the bottom of the turbo. Now the nut that's on this is an original nut that came off the turbo originally, and the nut in my hand is the one that came in the kit, and it does not fit the stud it came with. So if you fit the nut from the kit and the stud from the nut kit together, you're going to mash up all the threads, because the threads on that nut and the threads on that stud are completely and utterly different. Don't think it's some kind of weird lock nut that you've never seen before, or it's meant to be super tight. It just don't fit, okay? They're not meant to go together, don't try it. So I've now got to remove a mashed up stud from the bottom of the turbo and find another nut, because I seem to be missing an original nut for some reason, and I've been very careful not to lose any, which is strange. Just transferring all the studs across from the old turbo to the new one, using a little bit of thread lock, and fit the new studs that came in the new kit. Okay, bracket back in place. There we go. So to hold your bracket back in, you've got a nut here, and a couple of bolts which go onto the back of the engine block. Heat shield, down here. Bolted the D-clip back onto this pipe. It's easy to do that now. So I've got the heat shield to go on there. trying to get the downpipe back in with the 3 studs in place is pretty tricky because it has to go in line with the exhaust underneath. There's a bracket down this side here, and this has to sit on top of the bracket that's on the back of the engine. And then you've got these 3 studs. So I've actually removed the top 2 studs to allow me to get it lined up on the bottom one. So I'm now going to put the studs back in place and thread lock them back in place. Just being careful with the gasket, and we should be able to tighten the 2 side ones and then reconnect the exhaust at the back. Okay, so I managed to get the 3 studs on here, which was a bit of a fight getting those in and moving it all at the same time, but again, managed to do that. The stud at the bottom, we need to put the last nut on. So the ones that came in the replacement kit, these copper ones, which are better than the originals, which are these horrible little things, because there's not a lot of meat on those things to grab hold of. So we're going to put all 3 of these on. I've also put the bolts in down here on the flange, and I've connected the exhaust to the bottom of the downpipe, but I've just done them loosely, so this has got some movement still in it. That way we can make sure that this is bolted down nice and flat, and once they're down and nipped up, I'll then go back under the car and do the bracket and the exhaust, and everything should be nice and secure. I've been working with the cover on just to protect everything, but I just took it off because I've disconnected the coil packs, and I just turned the engine over for about 20 seconds just to prime the water and the oil into the new turbo. So now I'm going to put it all back together again, and we're going to start it up and run it at idle for 15-20 minutes till it's up to temperature. Hopefully we'll have no leaks and we will be all good. Okay, we've been ticking over for 15-20 minutes. We've got no water leaks, no oil leaks, so I'm pretty happy. So we're going to go and take it for a test drive. Some of the guides recommend that you do an oil change after this. I'm not going to. As I say, it's entirely up to you guys whether you do that or not. I'm not saying whether you should or not, but I've decided not to. Made an oil change and new filters and stuff not so long ago, and I'm hoping there's no swarf in the new turbo or anything that's going to cause a problem. But the filter's there for that reason. So, my opinion, I'm just going to go for it. I hope that helps, guys. Take care. Bye bye.